Bro, welcome back to another episode of the Staying Professional podcast, where we staying professional at all times. I hope everybody's doing good today. The Feds had a meeting today that they are going to start raising the rates. They're going to hike it up 6 times over the next year or two, I believe. The stock market did pretty decent today, rebounded a little bit, so I'm pretty happy about that. Today we're going to talk about traviseeds. We're going to talk about President Zelensky today from Ukraine, what he said real quick, and we're going to talk about some good old stories that you guys will enjoy. So, first things first, I want to say welcome, Travis. Welcome, traviseeds, to the building. As soon as we start, man, real quick, I'm going to have you shout out your IG and all your social media, and I'll have you do it again at the end of the podcast. But tell them where they can follow you, and tell them a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so you can follow me. It's Travi_seeds420. That's on Instagram. And then for Facebook, it's just traviseeds, and just very specific, or not so specific, very simple.
Hey, these days, I feel like back in the day, it was crazy to be unique and crazy to have like a crazy name, and you're like, oh,
now
that's
it's just
unique.
crazy if people find you.
Yeah, now it's crazy that people find you, and it's also crazy how simple people are. It's like, oh, that's too complicated. I don't want to do that. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Because nobody wants to type in the rest of the stuff to find you. They just want to be like, oh, that's your name? Okay, let me type that in. Oh, there you are. That's pretty simple.
Yeah. There he is.
So what I do is I'm DJ, and then I also am an MC. So not the way most people think of MCs. Most people, when you think of MCs, you think of rappers. I don't rap. But I do like hype man stuff and like host events and all that good stuff, Go on tour. It's pretty fun.
Used to rap, man. Used to rap on the low.
Can we call that rapping? I mean, yeah. I guess, compared to some of the things I've heard on SoundCloud, I think we can compare
that. You most definitely could have beaten a lot of the SoundCloud rappers. Hands down.
For sure.
It's kind of funny because you ever seen that TikTok where they're like rapping in 2050 and it's just like all auto-tuned?
Yeah, and what's funny is like when we were doing it, we weren't even trying to be serious. We were just kind of like trying to diss each other like in the circle, and like I feel like that would have been taken more seriously than like most of the stuff that I've heard.
Yeah, because now it's not about what lyrics you put on the track. It's more about the beats and
of course,
and all the ad libs and shit like that.
I mean, as a DJ, I'll still play it, but it doesn't mean I respect it.
Yeah, he'll play it if you request it.
Yeah, of course. Well, no, well, actually, I don't do that. I don't do requests really.
No.
Because
you got your set mix, right?
Well, so it's not necessarily set. I have like library like of stuff that I'll play, but the only thing is like this is what most people don't realize, that DJs are not jukeboxes. And the song that you want to hear that you've probably played and listened to probably 15 times on your way to the bar, and you're going to listen to 15 times on your way home while you drunkenly sing it, I probably haven't heard it, and I'm not going to download it, listen to it, and try to figure that out while I'm trying to mix for 100 plus other people.
So you're not going to play Black Betty at the bar?
Oh, no, I already have that. It's already in my mix.
That's a little inside joke we'll get into later. But real quick, before we get into another topic, because I was just asking my man right here, I was like, yo, did you even hear what the president of Ukraine said today? And he was like, nah, I'm not that political like that. And I was like, I get it. A lot of people just want to stay out of the bullshit, right? But this man went on TV today and showed a video of Ukraine, of how it was and how it is now, with all the people dying and like children dying in the streets, and they're just burying body in ditches like World War II shit. It's like it's mind-blowing to see. And so he says he's reaching out to Biden and says, hey, you are the leader of the United States. Will you be the leader of the free world and give us some help? So I was like, wow. That's kind of crazy, because if you think about it, yes, it's like the United States shouldn't put their nose in everybody's business. But at the same time, I feel like as being one of the, if not the strongest country in the world, I feel like we should try to at least help in some way, somehow, even though it is Russia, and and they're nothing to be messed with, But at the same time, we're nothing to be messed with either. And I feel like as the U.S., as a superpower, we shouldn't sit back and just watch things happen. So he's asking Biden, yes, you're the president of the United States, but will you step up and be the leader of the world, be the leader of NATO, and be the leader of multiple nations?
I think that as an outsider looking in, and I mean, all of this is kind of like unbiased situation for me because I don't pay attention to politics too much, especially in like what I do. But in that kind of situation, I feel like you're dealing with a level of evil that affects all of us. So I think at some point it's inevitable we're going to get involved. It's just under what circumstances are we going to get involved? Yeah. And I mean, what you're saying is true. Watching all these people die and everything like that, it's rough. And it's just a very sticky situation. Like, I don't really know what's the right answer to that either. And I'm sure that that's what, the president looks at is, what am I going to do? How's it going to affect me? Because I feel like how you're affected immediately after that is probably a little more important and a little more on his head than saving people. Yeah, because you can't save them all.
Yeah, you can't save them all.
It's not like Team America, World Police.
America.
And we tried to do that, before, and we drug out something that took a lot of time and ended up going very quickly how it kind of was before we got there.
Yeah, and also it's like what happened on 9/11. We spent 20 years in the Middle East just to sit here and
that's
pull
exactly
out.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
we pulled out, and when we thought that they were going to be able to take over and be able to do it on their own, they folded fast. I always say when people bring up this subject, I always say, like, we had a lot of people that went to that war, not to call out anybody, I'm not going to, but we were just talking about him before the show that went to war and came back a little messed up. Of course.
And for what? Basically for nothing, because we don't pull out there and gave them the influence back. And
then not only that, but the influence came back, and then they got to use all of our equipment.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave these tanks here, brother.
Yeah, here you go, man.
Hey, matter of fact, this is a Black Hawk chopper. Hop in it and figure it out. And then when you figure it out, probably shoot a missile at us or something.
The Ukraine situation is a little different leadership-wise, and I feel like that's a little stronger, and I feel like that is a big thing that kind of makes sense why we should back them, but I feel like we shouldn't be the one that's just like, hey, let's do this, to look like heroes. Like, I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about with everyone in NATO, and unanimously decided to do this because I thought we were over, like, people fucking just conquering and killing innocent people. Like, I thought that we were done with that. Like, that's like stuff we hear about in history, so we don't do it again type shit.
Well, we actually had a pretty damn crazy president before Biden was in office, and I feel
he's
like
a psychopath, and like he didn't want to take over anybody. Like,
for real.
Like, how do you get worse than that?
because he was a psychopath, people are like, "Whoa, listen, let's not nobody make no moves while he's in office because things could happen." Even like North Korea, like remember when Obama was president and North Korea was testing ballistic missiles and everything like that?
Yeah, and then we told them to stop, and they were like, "Okay."
Yeah, Trump was like, "You need to stop. We're gonna go meet," and he was like, "Okay."
And that's another thing too that I heard. I heard that there is supposed to be some type of meeting going on.
There's talks between Russia and Ukraine
because apparently Biden is supposed to be talking to somebody as well, right? Is that just NATO talks?
Yeah, Biden's supposed to talk to NATO. So I agree with you on what you said because I feel the same thing. Like our military is a couple million people in the military, right? We just can't send all our military to Ukraine.
No, and not only that, like, could you imagine if war came here?
I know. I was talking about that today. I was like, man, look at the war in Ukraine. Imagine if war came here.
Well, the thing is like, we're packing way more than Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
As civilians. So it's like...
And you know what I always say about our military
thing.
Versus everybody else's military? It's like, all right, you're talking about communism. When you're 18, you're going to the military, whether you fucking like it or not.
Of course.
In America, we sign up for it.
Yeah.
They sign up to be ready to protect and serve this great country of the United States.
Not only that, people are like, self-training.
Exactly.
I live in Florida, and Florida is like ridiculous. Like, one of my best friends that works with me, because I also bartend, and one of my like good friends, he goes with his family to South America every year and does like combat training. It's like family vacation for them. And
that's
that's a lot of people in Florida. Like the doomsday preppers and the bomb shelter like people, like we got those. We in the swamp.
Listen,
we have those.
Let me just tell everybody out there that's listening. If you don't know anything about Florida,
it's a gunshine state.
It is more than a gunshine state.
Problem.
Anything that could happen will happen in the state of Florida. Let me tell you that.
And if the guns don't get you, the wildlife will.
Yes, I was going to say, if you want to go camping and be eaten by a mountain lion, it could happen. If you want to go swimming in a lake or a spring and be possibly eaten by alligator, it could happen. If you want to go to the shark bite capital of the world at the beach, New Smyrna Beach, I love New Smyrna. Never been bit by a shark.
Never been bit.
Seen it. Been scared shit, but never been bit.
I've seen sharks, but I've never seen anybody get bit.
All right, I've never seen anybody be bit, so let me tell you my shark story where, call me a bitch if you want to. I won't go past my knees in the ocean no more. Not unless I've had a couple drinks and I'm feeling ballsy. But let me tell you, so it was back in the day, me and a couple buddies, I think maybe even Freddie might have been with me. We were swimming out, because you get to the sandbar and you can stand up again.
Yeah.
So we keep swimming. I'm swimming on my boogie board. I see a fin. Let me tell you something. Jesus walked on water. So did I when I seen that fin. I was straight back to the shore, and I was like, that's it. I'm done. That's all I needed to see. That's it. It's crazy. But I feel like all the people that get bit, don't swim by the jetty. All right? Let me tell you people something.
That's the best place to go when you're young, though.
Don't swim by the jetty. People fish there. Sharks feed there. Do not swim by the jetty.
But that's the best place to go. That's where none of the families are.
It is.
It's the only place where it's safe to smoke.
Yeah. All right. Now, since we talk about smoking, let me take a sip of this Big Wave real quick. Shout out to Kona's. Maybe I'll get sponsored. Maybe I won't. But who cares? Big Wave is a good beer.
Tastes good.
Cheers.
Anyways. Cheers.
So cheers on the Professional Podcast, bro. So I'm gonna let my friend Travis tell you about the story about back in the day. How I wind up starting. Well, it was at Travis's house. So
it was a group effort.
We winded up starting
a
smoke a blunt to the face Tuesday.
I will give you credit for the name. Dane might try to fight me on that, but I will give you credit for the name. But it was a group effort.
It was a group effort. And we're talking people. Let me just tell you something. I mean, you do what you do. Everybody does what they does. We're talking about 2006. 2007?
2006.
2006.
Yeah, it was my senior year.
2006. This man's a senior in high school. I'm a bad influence.
You're only a year older than me.
I know. I was a bad influence. You were still in high school.
I facilitated all of this. So.
You did.
I think I'm the influence.
Yes, it's your fault. It's not my fault.
I'm going to blame my mother.
Oh, yeah.
She allowed us to do this.
It's not her fault.
She encouraged it.
We
bought the weed from her. What are you talking about? It's not a lie. If you ever saw my mother, it would never make sense to you that she used to sell probably the most amount of weed ever from anybody in Deltona, Florida. In
that is 2006. A fact. Your mother's a sweetheart. 2010. I love her. I hope she listens to this. Hey, Mama, what's going on? Long time no talk. Hope
Sorry, we're going to talk about your laundry.
Sorry. No, we're not going to talk too much about her dirty laundry. The only thing I absolutely cannot stand about her is that she's a Cowboys fan. Besides that, she's good in my book.
Yeah, she's not good with the sports teams.
Tell them about the day.
So it was definitely 2006, and I believe you and Dane decided that we were gonna all hang out on my back porch, and you had just bought this big ounce of regs. It was dirt weed, but we thought it was great. We thought it was great weed.
I thought it was awesome.
This is brick
this
weed.
Fucking awesome.
And you're like, you know what? Feeling myself. We're gonna all buy a box of Phillies. So this also tells you the time because Philly blunts, are they even still a thing?
I mean, everybody's smoking backwoods and wraps, and me
Don't
personally,
hate on backwoods. Backwoods fuck, and they fuck hard.
I know. Like me personally, I haven't smoked in a long time. But the last time
hours?
No, like I'm talking years.
Oh,
years I haven't burned
hours.
Yeah, I could tell when you walked in the door. You're like, "What's up, bro?"
Some people are louder than others.
You know what? It don't matter, bro. It's your prerogative. You do whatever you want. You know what I can't stand, bro? It's like, all right, if you're gonna smoke and be functionable, yeah. But I can't stand somebody who smokes and is just incapacitated and still wants to do it on a
I have
daily
smoked
basis.
myself unfunctional. That has happened.
Oh, yeah.
Recently. Not today, but recently.
Yeah, not today. But not from regular flour. Probably from...
No, there was wax involved.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Some diamonds.
And, like I say, man, you know, everybody does what they do. But I completely lost track of what we were talking about.
We were talking about Philly blunts.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, I went and bought a whole box
of Phillies.
A whole box. Phillies was shit back in the day.
It was a long time ago. They were the original shit.
It was actually Phillies original.
They were.
Yep.
They weren't flavored.
Yep.
I remember that because I remember being upset about it. But we all rolled a blunt. Some of them were very ugly. We were like 18. I was 18. I was 18 when this happened.
How old was I?
And I think only like 5 of us really knew how to roll a blunt.
I think I was
like 10 or 12 of us.
If you were
that
18,
on
I was
my
19 because I'm only a year older than you.
Yeah. So we all roll this blunt to our everybody rolls a blunt, and we sit on my back porch and we start smoking these blunts. And everyone is like, it was the weirdest feeling ever because I wanted to pass it like so much, but then like everyone had one.
I remember,
and I just remember it being a thing of beauty.
I remember at this
We were
time.
cheersing blunts at one point.
Yeah, I remember too. It was like the
And they
Cat
weren't
Williams
skinned.
story.
They were huge.
You know when the Cat Williams is like, you know, he was like puffing, passing, puffing. Before he knew it, he looked up and there was 8 blunts in rotation.
Yeah, like all of us were just like, it was just such a surreal moment. I felt like we felt like adults for the first time right then when you could smoke your own weed and not have to pass it.
Like I was like, you know
As
what?
fucked up as it sounds.
You know what it was too at the same time? Not to throw anybody under the bus, but I think one of the main reasons I wanted to smoke my own is because there was like 5 of us. It was actually me.
No, there was way more than 5.
No.
It was a whole table.
Yeah. It was at the circular table in the back porch.
Yeah.
It was me. It was you.
Tuna.
Was it Tuna there?
Tuna was with us.
Tuna was there. John was there.
Yes.
Dane was there. Mac was
Justin.
there. Justin was there, and you were there.
Yeah. So
8.
there's like 8.
There was 8 of us.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, because I had all the bud, and I remember you had a little, Mac had a little, and I was like,
It was
all
like
right,
right when my mom first started selling weed.
I was like, you know what? Who doesn't have enough? I'm gonna give you some.
Yeah.
Bam. Gave everybody some. We all rolled our own. Because I was like, man, if I like one, and at the time I was doing my thing as far as that goes, and I was like, if I light one, by the time I get it again,
You ain't gonna have a blunt.
exactly, it's pretty much gonna be done.
Yeah.
Especially with the way things were back then, like you had to smoke a whole one to get where you wanted to be.
Yeah. Definitely after that situation, I feel like our tolerance was just like smacked in the face.
Dude, if we would have been introduced to the marijuana that's out today back then,
We would have never
went
got that
apeshit.
blunt down.
We would have been apeshit. No.
We would have never gotten the blunt down.
No, we would have took a couple
fallen
hits and we would have been like, you know what? This is good, bro.
It's like, have you ever seen a bobblehead that's like so old that the head won't stay up anymore? It's just, like, that's exactly what we would look like. I feel like we still look like that, but usually we had to add Jägermeister to it.
Oh, my God. Let me tell you something. It was actually, me and my wife were actually driving a couple of days ago, and she was like, oh, look, there's a Jägermeister trailer. Remember you used to drink that? I was like,
warm. We used to drink it warm on the beach.
Don't even say that name.
Like idiots.
Don't even say that name.
But to get back to the Blunts to Face Tuesday stories, I remember we were sitting there, and I think it was you or Dane that said that we should do this every week. And then I'm going to give you credit for the name because I don't have any evidence to dispute it. I know that this has been an argument for a long time. But I remember you saying, yeah, we'll call it Blunt to the Face Tuesday. And all of us were just like, oh, my God. It's like, again, with like the Cat Williams or like Kevin Hart thing where he's like, he said she got no nipples. Like that was the situation I felt right there in my heart whenever that happened. And then we started doing it every week. And then it got crazy.
Yeah, let me tell you something real quick. So it had been
keg parties.
Remember, I started working. I started working on Tuesday nights. So there was a couple of nights I couldn't show up. It was like literally people. I'm talking about 3 weeks. I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about years. I'm talking about 3 weeks. I hadn't gone. Travis calls me. He says, "Bro,
it got nuts.
Bro, you have to come to this smoke a blunt to the face Tuesday.
There was like
you don't
50
even
people.
know what's going on. So I'm like, all right. I left work early. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta be there. I show up. People are doing cake
It was
stands.
chaos.
There's beer pong.
It was chaos. Turned to a frat
There's
party.
blunts to the face. There's 40 people there. I pull up to this cul-de-sac and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it turned into an outrageous thing. I don't know how. Well, I kind of know how, but I don't really know the timeline
Everybody
of
wanted
how.
to partake.
Yeah, it got crazy. And then we lived on a lake, and like we were able to hide all those cars. Like, so even when the cops would like roll through my house or through my neighborhood, couldn't even tell there was a party going on. And we were partying like all the time. It felt like
Every Tuesday.
yeah,
And the weekends.
and then some.
And the weekend.
But yeah, it just got so crazy. And then I remember one time, then there was like a house that got busted that was like next to ours. And since we were selling weed, we panicked because there was helicopters flying over my house while there was 45 people in my backyard on a Tuesday with a lot of smoke.
Dang,
Like,
I wasn't there that time.
Like going out on my back porch and, just got fucking nuts. I think was that like an Amber Alert? Did we get an Amber Alert?
No.
Oh, no, we're under a thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, I mean, it's Florida, bro.
Yeah, it is.
All right,
Surprise.
bro. So now to get off that subject and move on to a little bit more about you. Now, I know because I've seen, how is it to go out in front of a full-fledged reggae crowd and just be like, the center of attention, just be like doing your thing up there on stage?
I will say now it's a lot of fun. It has gone through layers of entertainment as far as me being concerned. What started off as just me rolling up a joint and bringing it to a singer of my favorite reggae band to announcing bands in front of thousands of people. It got to be terrifying at first, and now it's fun. But at first it was terrifying.
And I don't know
used to make me sick,
know
actually.
if what you bring on stage could be classified as a joint.
It is a joint. It's made out of a joint hemp paper.
I mean, that thing
just weighs more.
is a damn midget softball bat
I'll
that
give
he
you
brings
that.
on stage.
I'll give you that.
I was like, I seen one video and I was like, yo, like there's no way.
Seeing like the ones that I do, yes, from the average smoker look crazy, but like I went out to California and did Cali Roots, and I met this guy. He runs a brand called We Should Smoke. His name's Ozzy. Shout out Oswald. And this dude is just fucking crazy. Like he's rolling up like half pounds and like pound joints and like all this stuff. And like I come out with like a joint that weighs, an ounce and thinking that I'm the shit. And then this kid that's 5 years younger than me comes out with this fucking this gigantic, biggest joint I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, oh man, that's something.
I've seen videos of people like, and you know what?
My thing is more about like in bringing out inflatables and like promotional material and stuff. Like we do a
And
lot
not
of
to
stuff with raw
discredit,
rolling
man,
papers.
But I just feel like it's just a waste, bro. Like when you do that much
Until
at
you
one
see the
time,
pictures,
it's
you
a waste.
think it's a waste
Well,
until you see
yeah,
the
because
pictures.
it's worth the pictures and the videos, but
It's epic.
realistically, it's crazy. It is. It's absolutely.
You're not
nuts.
doing it for the feeling at that point. You're doing it for the novelty of it,
Yeah.
which
You're
is
doing
good.
it-
It's
you're doing
it's
it
an
because
art
you
form
can.
at that point,
Yeah.
and that's what I like
'Cause-
about it.
Good luck doing that thing. No amateur is gonna be able to do.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I
I've
couldn't
fallen
do
off
it.
stages before.
Yeah, I couldn't do
It's
it.
embarrassing.
I couldn't.
It
Do
also hurts
Yeah.
a lot. Those stages are higher up than you would think. 6 feet is still 6 feet, and gravity's a motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say even 6 feet. Usually the stage is like sometimes 8 feet, 10 feet.
Yeah, that's usually 8 feet. I think is about average.
Supposed to
but
crowd surf, bro, not fall off the stage.
I ain't crowd surfing. Never crowd surfing.
You're not taking the chance.
Nah, man,
Nah.
that's sketchy. So many people touching you at once. Oh.
I know, bro.
That's how Freddie got fingered.
That's how Freddie got it. That's a throwback movie right there. And we were talking about John before, man. R.I.P. John, man. Real
R.I.P.
quick.
OG Yan
R.I.P.
Yan.
He was an OG. He was great friend. You know,
Absolute psychopath.
absolutely.
In the best way possible.
Honestly, in our group of friends,
He was
and
the
pretty much
craziest.
anybody I knew, he was a
craziest.
Steve-O.
He was the... Yeah,
He was
really
a Steve-O.
Yeah, he was.
If there is
For
one
sure.
person that I can compare him to, it's Steve-O.
Yeah.
'Cause
He would do anything.
he would do anything. Actually, you know, funny story about
Almost anything.
pretty much anything.
Almost.
So, funny story about how me and John even became friends is I went to Dane's house. I really wanted to go to a party. You know, again, talking like 2007. And I was like, yo, there's this party. I really want to go. Just don't want to go solo because I don't really know anybody. Who's down?
And John.
John, first one. Bum, I'm down. Let's go. I'm like, well, let's go.
John was there.
And ever since then, like, we pretty much rode everywhere together, man. And it's just tragic, man. It's just tragic. He's not, him, you know, my brother, you know, on the bikes. If you're out there on a bike,
Sketchy
man,
out
just
there.
be careful, man. Just be
Also,
careful.
if you're not on a bike, pay fucking attention.
Yes, don't tailgate motorcyclists.
Don't tailgate anybody.
Exactly.
How about this? Let's just sum it up to this. Don't be a shitty human.
Exactly.
The world needs more of that non-shittiness,
The world does, man, and
especially right now.
it's just crazy, man. People get my buddy gets road rage like crazy, and I'm like, dude, you gotta calm down with that, bro.
There's nothing, unless you're trying to get to somebody that is dying, there is no reason to be in that much of a rush.
Leave early.
If
you know,
you're late,
it's like,
that's not their fault. That's your fault. You're
yeah,
late.
it's punctuation, man.
You're late. I'm
Like-
late all the fucking time. You know what I don't do? I don't blame other people for me being late.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's totally my fault. I woke up late. I ate too much Chipotle yesterday. I had a roll up. Sorry. I apologize.
I just like sleep, so I said, all right.
Dude, you
So-
always been a sleeper, bro.
I'm the person that sets literally 15
Come on, bro.
different like
Don't tell me
alarms
that
that are
you
like
have-
3 minutes apart from each other.
Oh, my God,
You want me to
bro.
show it to you? I'm
Bro,
gonna show it to you right now. Hold on, I gotta show my face on my phone.
come on. Don't even tell me you got 5 minute. Oh,
Bro.
bro.
Look at these. Look, they span from 10 a.m.
Hold on. Start it from the top. Let me read it off.
Dude, they go from 10 a.m. to
10:30,
5:55
11:30, 11:40,
that's for my
11:45,
afternoon
11:55,
That's when I
12
nap.
o'clock, 12:30. Then my man's got to go home.
5:55
What time do
PM.
you go home to nap?
Whenever I can.
Yeah, then my man goes home to nap. He gotta
Sometimes I
spend
don't
about
even nap at
5:30.
home. Nap in my truck.
You know what? Sleep is key sometimes, man.
Got to.
All right, so we got a couple minutes left on this podcast. At the end of the podcast, I always like to ask my guest a certain question, and see what they think about it. And my question to you is: over the years that you've bartended, you've DJ'd, you've come to your own on your craft now. But if you could tell somebody out there that's trying to come to their craft to fast forward going through all the trials and tribulations, what could they do to shorten it up and to become more into their craft right away instead of trying out, different things before you come to your own?
I wish that I could say that there's this big magical thing and shortcut, but nothing that you care about that's worth doing is worth doing fast. And I feel like you don't really truly find out who you are as a person, creator, whatever you want to view yourself as, until you've gone through some shit. So I feel like an artist is never as good, or they're never their full potential until they get their heart broken. I feel like you got to know a lot of sadness to fucking find stuff that you like. And anything that, is worth putting out there, you're not just going to want to take a fast track to. So my biggest advice to anybody that's trying to do anything, especially in the entertainment industry, or do anything that is outside the norm, trust the process and make sure you love what you're doing, because it's going to be a fucking ride.
Yeah, they always say, love what you're doing and it's not work.
It's still work, because anything that you're passionate about, you're going to work your ass off to make sure that it's fucking great and that it's perfect. So it is still work, but I wouldn't call it a job.
Exactly. All right, bro. So at the end of every podcast, I don't know, have you listened to any podcasts yet?
I haven't listened to any of the podcasts yet.
All right. Well, Fuck you, bro.
Oh, well, sorry. I didn't know that this was happening until just recently, and then I didn't have time to check everything out.
I just got back on social media, and I was like, all right. I started thinking about who I want on my podcast, and then I was like, bam, I got to get Travis on the podcast, traviseeds, because somebody I've known for a very long time. Think about it. We've met, not to show our age, but we've known each other for 15 years.
Since 2005.
Since 2005. Well, yeah, 16, 17 years now. Known each other for a long time. It's somebody that we don't speak every single day or talk like even every once in a while. But when we get back together, it's a flow of motion. It's like, yo, we didn't miss 15 years. You know what I'm saying? We caught up for a couple minutes, and bam, we're caught up. We're back to normal. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast, but at the end of every podcast, I tell everybody they got to give me their best bro on the Professional podcast. So I'm going to need you to give me a bro.
Okay, give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Real quick, shout out your IG one more time. Tell everybody where they can follow you. Tell everybody where you're going to be DJing, where they can come see you, and where they can come spend some money so you can make some money.
Okay, so IG is going to be Travi_seeds420, and I mean, you can pretty much see me like everywhere all over Central Florida. But as far as residencies, I hold it down at West End Trading Company every Tuesday night for beer pong tournament. And then also I'm over in Longwood, Florida at Back Porch, Longwood, twice a month, every other Saturday.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. That is the end of these things, Professional Podcast. Again, I'd like to thank you, Travis, for coming out, man. I appreciate you, man. And I hope everybody is out there having a great day, and I hope you stay in professional one day at a time, because that's what we doing out here. Thank you again, Travis. Take it easy later, man.
Yes, thanks for having me.